Get ready for a bleak winter, Americans. The winter months ahead is set to be the worst months for many Americans. The Christmas holiday many people are used to will be different this year. And for the worst, this will be a difficult holiday season for many Americans, as COVID-19 makes it nearly impossible to get together with loved ones. Unfortunately, for millions of jobless Americans, the inability to enjoy normal holiday traditions isn't even the biggest worry. It's the impending loss of unemployment benefits that currently keep them financially afloat. 12 million Americans will lose their unemployment benefits the day after Christmas. Without unemployment benefits, and with savings badly depleted, families will be at high risk for food insecurity and loss of their homes, and many may be unable to pay for health care during some of the darkest days of the pandemic. First came the expiration of the extra $600 a week in enhanced unemployment benefits in July, which lowered the average amount of weekly unemployment benefits Americans received to $257 from $812. Now an even more grim cutoff is set to take place a day after Christmas, when 12 million Americans will see their unemployment benefits drop to zero, according to a new report by Andrew Stetner and Elizabeth Poncoti from the liberal-leaning Century Foundation. As a result, personal incomes may see a roughly $226 million drop. Congress needs to wake up immediately, put aside their anti-people and selfish attitudes, and agree on a second stimulus check that will help millions of Americans survive the bleak, cold months ahead. The well-being of the people should always come first on their agenda. Unfortunately, their party politics come before the lives of Americans who voted them into office. 12 million people will lose their unemployment benefits because of the expiration or part expiration of a few key federal programs. These include Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, PU. This provides unemployment benefits for gig workers who aren't usually eligible for these benefits under state rules. Expires December 26. Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation, PEUC. This provides for an additional 13 weeks of benefits for those who are long-term unemployed. Most states limit workers to 26 weeks of unemployment benefits. PEUC helps workers who exceed those state limits. This also expires on December 26. Extended Benefits, EB. Initially created in 1970, this program is aimed at those who have exhausted state benefits. And PEUC, it gives people an additional 6 to 20 weeks of benefits in states with especially high unemployment. Full federal funding expires on December 26. Also, an estimated 7.3 million workers will lose unemployment benefits when PUA benefits end on December 26th. This is on top of another 945,000 who will have already lost these benefits by that point, and for 0.6 million workers will see their PEUC benefits end. These Americans include gig workers, freelancers, and self-employed workers, as well as jobless Americans who will exhaust the maximum number of weeks that an individual can receive jobless benefits in their state. The analysis found that 7.3 million Americans rely on the PUA program, while another 4.6 million Americans rely on the PEUC benefits. The analysis claims that despite the slight recent economic recovery, there are simply not enough jobs being created to support all of the workers running out of aid. Before the end of 2020, it pushed the need for extending unemployment benefits, especially as the coronavirus spikes across the United States before the holidays. Congress has so far failed to agree on any new stimulus package for jobless individuals and struggling businesses. The cutoff of aid will sharply reduce income for the unemployed, force a further reduction in their spending, and perhaps weaken the economy. The expiration of benefits will make it harder for the unemployed to make rent payments, afford food, or keep up with utility bills. Most economists agree that because unemployed people tend to quickly spend their benefits, such aid is effective in boosting the economy. The holidays aren't looking bright for one Jocelyn Fox, an unemployed single mother who is grappling with competing demands, trying to play teacher for her to housebound children while struggling to make ends meet. A big stressor since her jobless aid expires soon. I can't even think about the holidays while unemployed. It's a big, scary mess. Says Fox, 32. I keep telling the kids to just be thankful we still have a house and can put food on the table. Fox, who lives in Ypsilanti Township, Michigan, was laid off from her job as an inventory stocker at an auto parts retailer in March. Since then, she's struggled to find work. Eviction moratoriums have been a lifesaver for her, she says, though Fox, like millions of other Americans who face jobless benefit expirations, doesn't know how she'll pay her bills or rent, which she is already behind on. Once her aid ends in late December, millions of jobless Americans like Fox could suddenly be cut off from their unemployment benefits the day after Christmas if Congress fails to extend relief programs, with many facing lasting scars. As the worst pandemic in a century threatens to deepen their economic pain, health experts are warning of a bleak winter without unemployment benefits. And with savings badly depleted, American families will be at high risk for food insecurity and loss of their homes, and many may be unable to pay for health care during the pandemic. Unemployment benefits for many families are the last thin line between surviving a difficult situation and facing lasting financial disaster. If you get into a situation where you have no source of income in the middle of a pandemic, you're going to drain your savings, postpone health care, not put food on the table, or possibly lose your home. Democrats and Republican lawmakers have debated renewing some of the programs, but progress has been slow amid deep partisanship in Washington. The bill could be smaller since Republicans are likely to keep control of the Senate. House Democrats are targeting a $2.2 trillion package. Senate Republicans introduced a smaller $500 billion spending package that included aid for small businesses and federal unemployment benefits, but Democrats blocked it after the measure omitted $1,000 to $100 stimulus checks and aid for states. Congress is also hurtling toward a Dec 11 deadline to fund the federal government during a contentious lame duck session. It's possible that some pieces of funding, either unemployment aid, an extension of the eviction moratoriums, or a stimulus check, could make it into a bill to keep the government funding. Only 18 states are projected to still have the EB program in place at the end of December, leaving many workers without additional income support after PEUC expires. These states are Alaska, California, Connecticut, District of Columbia, Georgia, Hawaii, Illinois, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and Washington. The loss of temporary 100% funding in the CARES Act for EB will cost workers in several states that have tied their state EB law to federal funding and will restrict the program back to 1980s levels. This includes states such as Kentucky and Delaware, as well as many other states where the insured unemployment rate has dropped as workers cycle off of state UI. Of those who are predicted to have their PEUC benefits cut off on December 26, 12.9 million are expected to continue on EB. However, the states will have to contribute 50% of the costs of these benefits, a major financial stress at the time when state unemployment funds and state budgets are in distress due to the pandemic and decline in tax revenues. We hope the government get their selfish acts together and pass a second stimulus check soon. Otherwise, it's going to be a long, bleak winter for many Americans. Till our next video, stay savvy.